Hi, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. My name is Whack Attack. Today is December 7th, and we've got an exciting episode for you, as always. So, yesterday afternoon, Frank, Zemo, Flanders, Lantern, I think, lots of different names, but Frank basically came into trading and he said, "This is potentially Sex Eve, we're richer tomorrow." So then Luke says, "Why do you think so? I mean, every day is now potentially Sex Eve." That's centralized exchange, by the way. I don't see the probability to be high as of now. And then Frank gives reasoning, right? He says, so tokens that were announced a week ago, yesterday, got listed. And tomorrow is 1 week since the Rocket Pool tokens announcement of Rocket Pool. So Luke says, "Oh, was busy. Was that the magic one or the other one?" And he says, Frank said, "Yeah, those two." So Luke said, "I just checked Coinbase assets. It looks plausible. Tomorrow might be the listing. It looks like they might reduce the delay recently to 1 week instead of 3 to 6 weeks that we were talking about. But might not be a rule, just a coincidence." And then Luke tags Zero and Wanda, which are two prominent community members who sold recently, thinking they were selling the top. And he said, "Don't get caught with empty bags." And Zero said, "What happened?" And Luke says, "Coinbase has started firing up those listings much faster than they used to. Last batch had exactly 1 week delay, implying Rocket Pool would be announced tomorrow." And Zero says, want to sell me some at a 5% discount? Need a discount? I'm losing money here." So then today, we get this tweet that said, Coinbase assets. Coinbase like to support Aragon, which is ANT, and Rocket Pool on the Ethereum network. Coinbase only supports the updated versions of ANT and RPL with contract addresses and then the addresses there. So then as soon as that happens, then bot activity starts going kind of like crazy. So there's a buy and a sell, the old RPL sell, and then new RPL buy, and the ratio spiked at 0.1642. But that was $150,000 buy. But then that kind of sets off the 1-inch sell bot. So there was arbitrage stuff, selling happening, conversions happening. And then I was tipped off to this tweet by our beloved Marceau, who says Coinbase trading will begin on or after 9 p.m. on December 8th, which is tomorrow, Pacific time. So that'll be at midnight Eastern, and into the morning of December 9th in Europe, if liquidity conditions are met. Once sufficient supply of this asset is established, trading on our ANT USD and RPL USD trading pairs will launch in phases. So that was really cool. And then more buys started happening and more selling started happening. And then Zemo says, "Effing called it 1 week." And people gave him a cheers, "Good job, Zemo." So yeah, that was really exciting. That news literally just broke as I was about to start filming. So I'm lucky that I just caught it this time instead of last time when I missed it. So now let's have a look at what's next. So, oh wait, we already saw that. Yeah, so this is what we have next. Joe says, "Special announcement today. We just pushed Smart Node version 1.8.0 beta 1, which is the same as version 1.7.1, but adds the following features." So there's a Nimbus change to have the split process mode. There's new consensus client, which is integrated, called Lodestar, which Joe's been working on integrating for a while. He says, "If you wish to switch to Lodestar, simply follow the instructions for changing consensus clients here." And then Joe says, "This is a beta release and is not meant to be run on the Praetor. Is meant to be run on the Praetor testnet only by smart node beta testers. Please do not try to run this on mainnet." And it says to install, then blah blah blah, and there you go. You can run it. So now you can be Rocket Pool version 1.8.0 beta tester. There's normally a poap involved with that. If you give feedback, you might be able to get a contributor poap as well for Git poap. So it's really cool that this is happening. So I'm excited for that. I guess that should be on mainnet within the next few weeks now. Next, this really exciting thing happened for me. So Jasper gave this update. It said, "Hey everyone, live in 5 minutes." And then there was the Twitter space that I was telling you about yesterday. It says, "Join me in special guest Whack Attack for a community space where we cover updates in the Rocket Pool ecosystem over the last 2 weeks." So I just got Rocket Fuel out right before then. No, wait, sorry, that's wrong. Yeah, so if you go to the Twitter, you can listen to the Twitter space that's recorded. It's an hour and a half long, and we covered everything that was in the Reddit bi-weekly update, and Jasper was, presenting the news. I was adding some color, and Maverick was there adding some color too. So it was my first ever live Twitter space that I was a part of. I think it went really well. It was a really lovely conversation that we all had. Yeah, and then we just spent some time talking about it on trading while we were in the call. So let me see if I can find that. Sorry, I should have had that prepared. Yeah, it was right here. So people asking questions, people making comments, and yeah, people listening, which was really, really cool. We spent a lot of time in the beginning talking about my interviews with Thomas and with Superfizz, and just like how great both those stories are, how well those episodes have been received, and it's just been really nice. So that was awesome. The next thing that was really cool that's happened is Anthony Sassal has now been officially proposed as a new oDAO member, and the oDAO will have to vote on this. So if you go to events oDAO, you can see that this is proposal. Yeah, the proposal was created, so now people will have to start voting on this proposal, which is pretty awesome. So I think that should have some within next week. Basically, I think they normally give it for these proposals once they go live. So Sassal will be part of the community. Now, what makes Anthony Sassal being such a great oDAO member is he has pledged to set his withdrawal keys as the guild protocol address. So he will not be taking control of any RPL rewards. He has, however, stated that it's up to them to do with their RPL whatever they wish. Maybe they'll sell it, maybe they'll hold it. For those of you who don't know, the protocol guild is a fund that pays out 128, I think, core developers, people who work on Ethereum projects. So they receive donations, and then those donations get divided out to those core contributors to the Ethereum ecosystem. And it's a endeavor that Sassal has championed quite a lot. So now he's literally putting his money where his mouth is. So that will be about just over $10,000 a month at current prices will be going to the Protocol Guild, which is truly amazing. Next, we had this dashboard from Grey Wizard. So it's called Rocket Pool oDAO Stats. So if you have a look at it, sorry if the formatting is not going to be right on my screen. So this is called, he gave it a really funny name. He called it the Merkle Tree Grand Prix. So what he's done is every month when the Merkle trees are generated, he gives a score to the people, and they get points. So if you can see that here, there's a ranking on the right now, the Merkle Tree Grand Prix. So number 1 is the Old Rocket Pool Node 1, Old Rocket Pool Node 2, then Superfizz, then Rocket Pool 4, Bankless, Beacon Chain, FireEyes, Rocket Pool 2, Beacon, Blockchain Capital, and then Crypto Manufacturer. So those are how the points are divided. I think this is going to be like a really nice way maybe for some oDAO members to try to get their systems being a bit more quick and get things out. But yeah, that's really good work, Grey Wizard. So thank you for that. Okay, next we had this post from me saying I'm deploying a benefactor POAP today and tomorrow. So basically the benefactor was absolutely wonderful, like really boosted a lot of morale in the community, and a few different people, including Lee and myself, like we decided that like there should be some kind of pop to commemorate it. The whole community kind of wanted it. I reached out to Sleety and asked if he would make artwork for it, and he agreed. So thank you so much for that, Sleety. And then I completed the forms and the paperwork to set up the drop, and then I went one by one through 170 addresses and kind of airdropped or whack dropped the POAP to people. So this is what the POAP looks like. As you can see, I showed it yesterday as well, but now it's all been distributed. So there've been 170 people that it's gone to, as you can see over here, and it's got a list of all the different people who've received it. So that was really wonderful that that's gone out, because I think people really liked that POAP and really liked the whole benefactor weekend that we had. So Proteus had this comment saying, "Hey Hodger, I ripped off your Rocket Arb website," and then there's rocketscan.io Rocket Arb. "I hope you don't mind because your site is great." So of course I've given coverage to Hodger's site, and since then you can like this it's been kind of like Proteus put it into the RocketScan site. So it says that, these are the pools that have set up they've done the most number of ARBs. We've had 357 total ARBs for a total profit going back to the community of 120 ETH. And then the top ARBs here was 0.4473 ETH that this person got back, which was absolutely amazing. There are a whole bunch of them at 0.44, and then just depending on gas fees, depends on how much profits you get. And then it gives you a list of all the ARBs that are coming through now, or the most recent ones. So the most recent one was a couple of hours ago, and the person got 0.31 ETH. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see. And then there's all listed over here, and then you can just keep seeing more and more of them. And then one of them will be my node 2, my mini pool as well, that I started for my friend. So that's really amazing. Like, this is really cool. Of course, Hodger's website, I've given a lot of shout outs to that before as well, so thank you. Another thing Proteus worked on, I guess he's been working on a lot of updates. So this one was part of my, what work did you do this week? But Proteus really stepped it up here, so I'm giving him his own little separate shout out from everyone else. So he did a smoothing pool balance over time changes that you can see now, top RPL senders and recipients from an address, Rocket Arb watch clone. He's open about it at least. Mini pool queue clearers, which is really nice. Rocket scan footer menu with links to all pages and some obscure ones. And Rocket rewards tree spec version 2 implementation and more information as well. So those are some really, really cool updates. So thank you so much for Proteus for making Rocket Scan better every day. And it's truly a huge community resource in this website that I absolutely love. So thank you so much for that. So next, we have Joe giving some updates on his Rock 5. So there's a case that he got, and then he also started like 3D printing a fan case. So the fan case, he says, takes 10 hours to print, which is really cool. And then also, I already had that there. And then there were a few people in the community, like Invis was talking to Joe about the power consumption. So it says power off with the fan, 1.5 watts. Power off without the fan, 0.6 watts. Idle with fan, 5 watts. Idle without fan, 4.2 watts. And then stress test on all 8 cores with fan. And then the SSD connected, 11.3 watts. So I'm thinking once you're staking on this machine, it might be under 10 watts of power. And Joe says, like, I have one validating right now, it's pulling 4 watts from the wall. So actually that's a mistake. Like, it's validating, everything's all set up, it's all going, and it's getting 4 watts of power, which is truly amazing when you consider that like incandescent light bulbs can be 40 watts. So this one staking machine is the equivalent of 10 light bulbs, which is absolutely phenomenal. So Joe's been working on that, which is really cool. And I'm really excited to see like the developments on that every day, and especially over the weekends, I think is when we can get the most. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement. As of this moment, I have officially moved my validators off my old Raspberry Pi and onto the first Proteus. This is the first time since ever that I'm validating not on a Pi. Wish me luck. So, this machine is working. This machine's excellent. It's cheap. It's power efficient, and it can handle a whole lot of validators. So Joe's using that as his validators are on there now. So that's really, really amazing to see. Okay, next thing, I want to give a shout out to Dybsy, who had his interview with Flashbots yesterday, and he had the first stage of the interview. So he gave a little bit of feedback on how the interview went. And he says, I guess I haven't interviewed in over 10 years and definitely never before for a crypto startup. So it was odd from my perspective. I had pointed questions about the internal operations that got vague answers, which led me to believe that I'll probably just be on my own to effectively run my own legal department, complete with admin duties. Also, I got some internal insight that led me to believe the schism, this was about censorship or non-censorship, had far-reaching implementations, not just Stefan left in September, but their one and only legal guy left in October. They have 0 legal right now. So, Dybsy did the first step of the interview, and then there's more steps ahead. So it'd be really amazing to see him get the job. Okay, so yesterday after the community call, we I realized that I had 491 followers on Twitter, so close to 500. So Grey Wizard said make that 492, and then Fizz was kind enough to write this tweet. So he says, I'm extremely proud of the work being done by Whack Attack and to add value to the Rocket Pool community and the wider Ethereum Beacon Chain community. I'd encourage following him on Twitter and checking out his Rocket Fuel YouTube channel with a link to the YouTube channel. So that one tweet from Fizz got me over 527 followers. So it gave me like 40 new followers on Twitter, which was really nice of Fizz to send that tweet out. And of course, he tagged it with a tag at the end saying Rising Star as well, which was really kind of him to say. And then some of the replies I got in that tweet were like really heartwarming as well. Jasper said he has such a positive energy and passion for decentralization that really shines through the content. A must watch for any hardcore Ethereum. Marceau said a daily must watch. And Fizz says I cheer for those who cheer for our network. And Adam Horowitz, I'm not sure if that person is in our community or not, but had a really nice comment as well, saying I've been a Rocket Fuel subscriber via Pocket Cast for the past 2 weeks since I discovered the show. It feels like I'm receiving a personal briefing during my morning runs. So if you're listening to this, Adam, shout out to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you everyone for following and listening. I don't like to self-promote. I don't like to ask for subscribers, likes, thumbs up or any of that kind of stuff. I'm doing this as a service to the community, and when that's noticed by people in the community, that's really touching and I truly appreciate it. So we're going to end now on my weekly, what work did you do for Rocket Pool? I wrote a comment saying, hi everyone, it's that time. What work did you do this week? Let me know and I'll give you a shout out on Rocket Fuel tomorrow. I know at least 170 of you did work because the RPL benefactor paid you all. No excuses for not sharing that with me because 170 people is like how many poaps I sent out, right? So that's how many poaps I had ready to go out. So I said no excuses for not sharing your work with me. So one of the first people to share their work with me was Lee, who said YouTube video showing the progress of the process of upgrading a node. So on the smart node stack, how to basically run to the latest version, which is amazing. And Kevster said, told my ex she should convert the ETH I held for her to our ETH and not sell it. The ETH was yield farming pools and the address I controlled. Does that count for marketing? I think that definitely counts for marketing, Kev. So thank you for doing that. Superfish said, I developed a POAP to celebrate the Coinbase announcement and showed RPL Grime some love in the process. RPL Grime honestly did like an amazing abomination of a POAP for that, so that was really cool. This says I gave someone 1,000 RPL that they distributed to the community, referring to the RPL benefactor. I sponsored a POAP-thon art contest for a smoothie pool donor POAP. So that POAP will go to people who mint the POAP for 1 ETH. You mint the POAP for 1 ETH through checkout, and then that ETH will go to the smoothing pool, which is really cool. And then Fizz says, I tweeted the 10,000 mini pool thing and got some good engagement. And I haven't picked my nose all week because of the potential link to Alzheimer's disease. So that's a key note for you all. Stop picking your nose. It might cause Alzheimer's. And then we had some more as well. We had Hodger. It says, I spent the day working on a YouTube tribute to the development of Rocket Pool. I'd like to share it with you guys, and there's a YouTube link. I've taken the code comments from on the Rocket Pool repo and visualized them all in the video together with some music with good vibes. Kind of turned out like a bunch of SCVs zipping around, welding and building a rocket ship to venture into the future of decentralized finance. Ha ha ha. Also spammed this in general. I hope you all enjoy. And then there was a link to the tweet for that as well. And Kane said, cool video. Oh man, it's lonely 2022. And then finally, we had this thing from Valdorf. He says, the thing I'm proudest of is stealing a meme about stealing memes. And then there's a link to the meme pool. He says, have you been a victim of meme theft? Has a certain person stolen your dumbass meme and reposted? Join the class action. Send 50 RPL to Dr. Doofus.eth and wait for the instructions. And you got 15 kek emotes. So yeah, stealing memes is serious business, and you can definitely ask Butter about how that works out for people. But on that note, I'm going to end the episode today. So I hope you all have a lovely hump day. Happy Coinbase listing day, even though the listing goes live tomorrow. But yeah, it's really exciting in the community right now. There's a lot of really cool things happening, and I'm really loving being part of everything. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for sharing your work with me. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.